You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got some breaking news in here, and maybe for some fans, you're probably thinking it's about time because it has been just about as bad as you can possibly imagine for one Bryce Young. And look, I like the kid when he was at Alabama, and you guys know that I like talking about Alabama quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, all these guys. And there was always one big concern with Bryce Young. He wasn't big at all, and he didn't actually excel at anything. He had a very average, maybe even slightly below average arm, and if you want to look at the frame, well, the frame ain't good either, right? And I know what Pro Football Reference says, 5'10", 204. Nah, okay? This guy's more like 5'8" and some change and about 178 to 185. And I'm not kidding you at all, okay? But there's enough data here to realize this probably isn't it. I mean, 2 wins, 16 losses. His completion percentage, not over 60%. And let's be real, if you're going to be good these days, you need to be at 65 or above. And really, some would argue maybe that's even not high enough, seriously. And you can imagine, let's just look. He had 62 sacks last year and 6 already this year. Now, I understand that the Carolina Panthers are a lot like, say, the New England Patriots, right? O-line's not good. Not the greatest weapons, but I'm sorry, you've got Adam Thielen and you've got Deontay Johnston there from the Steelers. You've got a couple of receivers there, all right? You got enough to be able to move the ball and flash at least somewhat, okay? And if you're an all-world talent, you would flash. That's all there is to it. So, this was what Dave Canales put up. Sources: the Panthers are benching former number 1 overall pick Bryce Young and starting veteran Andy Dalton beginning this week. Coach Dave Canales had repeatedly said Bryce is our quarterback, but with the season quickly slipping away, they're 0-2, folks. Canales decided to make a change. Well, here we are. It's Andy Dalton, and it's funny because for all the average we talk about with Andy Dalton is 6'2", 220. All right, he at least has quarterback size. He's got an average arm, red rifle, right? But he has had some decent years, believe it or not, with the New Orleans Saints just 3 years ago. He had 18 touchdowns, 9 picks, and a hair under 3,000 yards, and he was a 66.7% completion quarterback. He can at least move the ball, get you in and out of the huddle, not die if he takes a bad hit. I absolutely understand why Canales did this. Now, if you're a Panther fan, you don't want to hear this at all, but this is what C.J. Stroud did last night in this game, all right? And this was one of the most unbelievable plays anybody would ever see, but my God. I mean, they thought he was dead, and he turned that into a big play. C.J. Stroud is a monster. You're right about that. So, you can imagine there's been a lot of reaction. Dave Canales knows what quarterback play looks like. Too bad they didn't have Canales a couple of years ago. I said on my X, do you realize that the Carolina Panthers had both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield now looks every bit like a franchise quarterback again. Not only that, he plays for the NFC South rivals, the Buccaneers, who are 2-0. Guy, right now, I mean, if you put together top 5 MVP candidates, and I understand we're through week 2, I get that. Baker Mayfield's in the top 5. And Canales is a big reason. I think Canales can coach offense. I do. Which tells me he's seen enough. He's seen enough. The kid, unfortunately, can't do anything special. So, now, it makes us wonder, is this the worst trade in the history of football? I still think, and I said this on X, Deshaun Watson's the worst trade ever. I think we're officially there, all right? I don't want to hear that fair at best game he had yesterday, and frankly, I still didn't think it was very good. But here we are, a reminder of what the Panthers gave up to draft Bryce Young. Wide receiver DJ Moore. Ugh, that's rough. 2023's first-round pick, number 9 overall. 2023's second-round pick. 2024's first-round pick. And the 2025 second-round pick. It could very well go down as one of the worst trades in NFL history. This guy says this is the worst trade in NFL history. This guy states what I just did. Nothing is worse than Deshaun Watson. I think that's the truth. I got to tell you, this trade is right there with Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson and Herschel Walker. It's that bad. Yet, I mean, it really is. This is the worst because of who they could have had at the time and kept DJ Moore and the remainder of their picks. Well, that is one way of looking at it. The Carolina Panthers' second-round pick in the upcoming draft will be a top 35 pick. They got fleeced. Look, I said what they should do is actually put the Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam, and David Tepper, get both of them together. One of them, of course, put the Watson trade together, and the other one traded the farm for Bryce Young, and put them in a WWE Hell in a Cell, all right? And you guys battle to the death, and whoever survives can claim that they've got the second worst trade ever because it's bad. And David Tepper looks like a terrible owner. He does, seriously. Just a reminder, year 2, game 3 does not equal a career. See Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield. Stop it. I mean, honestly. And to think about this, Baker is the smallest of those guys that guy just listed off. And Baker's still 6'1", like 225. All right, there's a major difference between Bryce Young and his size, and these other smaller quarterbacks. Even Kyler Murray. All right, Kyler Murray's like maybe 5'10 and a half, but he's like 220. I mean, he's a thick, buffed up little guy. Russell Wilson. Russell's always been thick. Russell's also like a hair under 6 foot tall. Baker, 6'1". All right? And it's just a different dynamic. And the other thing, Josh Allen called Baker Mayfield the strongest arm in the league last year. Russell Wilson, he had an above average arm for a long time. Now, I'm not so sure. Kyler Murray, for all the faults I've got with Kyler Murray, he's got an absolute cannon. Bryce Young doesn't have any of this, and that's part of the problem. There's no physical traits to fall back on. I mean, there's just none. There's nothing physically special about Bryce Young that you can hang your hat on and go, well, he's got the size. Well, he's super fast like Lamar. No, he's not. He's not big. He doesn't have a massive arm. And unfortunately, I think even with the football IQ, which I think is probably pretty good there, right? He just doesn't possess the physical attributes to get it done. And, guys, I've got to be honest here. I'm a big fan of Alabama football. I don't know that he's in the league in 5 years at all. Because of his size and his arm, I really wonder if he will even make it as a backup within, say, 3 to 4 years. And he may be gone to, like, the UFL if it's still around, you know. So, wow, the Panthers, I give Dave Canales credit. If he went to Dave Tepper and said, look, this guy's not your quarterback. He doesn't have what needs to. And I understand he said he's still our quarterback. No, he's not. You just benched him. You just benched him, okay? And you brought in Andy Dalton. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And you've got the number 1 pick and may actually have the number 1 overall pick. And unfortunately, it wasn't the number 1 overall pick in the draft that just happened, and you still would have messed that up, probably taking Caleb Williams. Woo. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.